Hello students. Now in this video we shall see the answer keys and solutions for the NEET paper, biology NEET paper from evolution chapter, which you had written on 10th of this June month. Okay. So the questions from evolution are from question 24 to 60. So we'll be discussing these questions now in this video. Okay, so here the question 24, what it says, which of the following amino acid was not found to be synthesized in Miller's experiment? So here in the Miller's experiment, he has got all the simple amino acids like glycine, alanine, glutamic acid. Glutamic acid he had not found. Even aspartic acid he has found. So answer will be the glutamic acid. Then 25th question. Which one of the following is incorrect about the characteristics of protobiont? So yeah, protobiont are the first cell. Proto, the first, biont, the life. So the first life, the first living cell. So they are also called as quasarbeads and microspheres, right? So about these protobionts, which of the following given options are incorrect? They are asking. Okay. So they were able to reproduce. Yes, they are the self-replicating metabolic capsule. So the first one is correct. They could separate combinations of molecules from the surroundings. Even that is correct because they will have different metabolism because of different combination of molecules they had, right? Also, they were partially separated, that is isolated from surroundings. Even that is correct. So they had this envelope surrounding them. So when there is envelope surrounding them, so they are separate from the outer surroundings, and they could maintain an internal environment. So this is not, they were not able to maintain, but some metabolism was happening. So maintenance of this internal environment, this appeared like long time after the origin of life. So this we can see in only mammals and birds. So up till the reptiles, all the organisms or coiculotherms, they could not maintain internal body environment. Then 26th question. According to abiogenesis, life originated from. So this abiogenesis is the theory of chemical evolution. So according to that theory, what they said, the origin of non-living materials happens, and from those non-living matter, the living organisms has appeared. How does these non-living materials has been appeared? Because of the chemicals. So because of the reactions among the chemicals, the non-living matter has been origin, and from that the living the life has been origin. So this is according to theory of chemical evolution. Then question number 27. Life cannot originate from inorganic materials now. So initially we know abiogenesis has happened from inorganic and organic materials. But now this is not possible. So if we just recall the primitive earth conditions, one is the temperature is very high and there was the reducing atmosphere in the sense there was no oxygen and there was water vapor. right? Also, there was lot of thunderstorms were there. So all these uh, factors has led to the development of life, the origin of life. But now why is it not happening? Because the atmosphere has high atmospheric oxygen. So from the reducing atmosphere, now the atmosphere has become oxidized atmosphere. So because of this reason, now the life cannot originate. Then question number 28. Which of the following experiments suggests that simplest living organisms could not originate spontaneously from non-living matter? So here they are talking about the theory of spontaneous generation. So what theory of spontaneous generations is? All of a sudden, by dead and decaying materials, the living organisms will appear, right? So here they are saying which of the given options it does not support this spontaneous theory. Here, which experiment? Many experiments they had done to support spontaneous theory, also to disprove this spontaneous theory. Okay? So here if we just recall the Francisco Redi experiment, so he had taken three different vessels, and in the one vessel he had kept this meat and he had kept it open, so the maggots has formed. In the other vessel, he had sealed the vessel with cork. The maggots were not found. In the third vessel, he had kept the meat and he had covered it with the gauge, mesh gauge, right? So even they, the maggots did not find. So this says that the organisms spontaneously have not generated. So your meat is the non-living matter, and the maggots were the living matter, the smallest living organism that had not origin from the meat. So this is the experiment which doesn't support the spontaneous theory of spontaneous generation theory. Okay, so answer is option D. Then question number 29, select the wrong pair. So here, if we see Spallanzani, he had actually supported spontaneous generation. Spallanzani, he supported theory of spontaneous generation. Okay, he had not approved abiogenesis, so this is the wrong pair. Then question number 30, evolution is. So what is evolution? You see, so here C option is discontinuous process. It is actually the continuous process. Progeny with modifications, that means the new progeny, the offspring, whenever it is produced, that is produced with modifications. And then option A says sudden change occurring in the population. There will be no sudden change. There will be gradual change. Clear? So even option A can't be the answer. Obviously D will not be the answer. All of the above. Answer is D. Yes, in the evolution, the progeny, whatever it is formed with the changes, they will have some kind of modifications. So if that is the case, we say evolution is occurring. Then question number 30. Which of the following natural processes is likely to fasten organic evolution? That means organic evolution in the sense, so it is the evolution of living organisms. So which of the given process will fasten? So here answer is abundant genotypic variation. So genotypic variation in the sense some changes or the modification in the genome. It can be genetic mutations, or it can be chromosomal aberrations, okay? Or it can be recombination. So these are the changes which leads to variation in the gene, that is a genotypic. Genotype means it is the genetic constituent. So that genetic constitution should to change, genetic mutations, chromosomal aberrations, recombinations, these are the factors. Okay. So the answer is option C. Then question number 32, which is common to whale, seal and shark. So if we see here, whale and seal, they belong to mammals. Shark, they belong to fishes. So here the origin of all of them are different. So seal is aves, birds. Okay. Whale is mammal. Shark is fishes. So their origin is different. But what is common to all of them? They are all aquatic. And if you see the forelimbs, they have these flippers for swimming, right? So we know they are the example for analogous organs. So analogous organs are always due to convergent evolution because the origin is different, but because of common function, they are merging together, right? So that is convergent evolution. Then 33 question. The concept of evolution is based, chemical evolution is based on. So what does this chemical evolution says? Abiogenesis first, but biogenesis ever since. That means how this abiogenesis is happening because of the chemicals. Organic and inorganic chemicals, they combine together and they will be producing the living organisms, right? So out of the given options, D says that possible origin of life by combination of chemicals under suitable environment condition. So answer is D. Then 34, a change in the relative abundance of an allele. So that is the allele frequency, change in allele frequency within a population over succession of generation. That means over the generation, there is change in the allele frequency. So we know what is allele. Allele, it is the alternate form of gene. So it is like, it is in the genetic level. Allele belongs to this genetic level, not to the population level. It's like very smaller quantity, right? So whenever there is, let's understand these options. So microevolution in this, it is change in, microevolution means it is change in gene pool or the genome of a given species over time. So this is called as microevolution of a given species or a population. Okay. Macroevolution in the sense it is large scale. So it's the large scale evolution. So large scale change in many different gene pools. So this is macroevolution. Okay. So here what they're saying, change in allele frequency within the population. Inside one population there is change, right? So it can't be macroevolution. Okay. Co-evolution in the sense, if we take a flower and honeybee. Okay, honeybee is dependent on the flower to get the nectar, right? Nectar is the food for them. So if there is a modification in the flower, then there will be modification even in the honeybee, right? So that is the co-evolution. So both are evolving together. Then phylogenetic evolution in the sense, in this, there is no change in allele frequency. No change in allele frequency. Okay. So out of the given options, microevolution will be the right answer. Then question number 35. The finches of Galapagos Islands provide an evidence in favor of. So this is the adaptive radiation. So the examples we had learned, right? So there is difference in the beaks, beak modifications we can see for different habitat. right? So that forms the biogeographical evolution. So it is a direct question. Then 36. When two species of different genealogy means different genes, that means different genetic constitution, come to resemble each other, result in as a result of adaptation. The phenomena is termed as. So when there is different genetic constitution, that means the origin is also different. They both are not related origin wise and structure wise. But so what they are saying, resemble each other. That means because of some adaptation, they are resembling each other. So there is one commonality based on their resemblance due to adaptation. So this is what they are explaining this analogous organs, right? So we know analogous organ. So that is due to convergent evolution, right? Then 37. Which of the following pairs is correct? So here, bat wings and insect wings. It is a direct. So whatever the examples given in your NCRT book, the same examples are quoted. So you have to check whether so given is analogous or homologous. So here, bat wings and insect wings are analogous. Yes. So their origin is different, but the function is same, flying. Seal flippers and bat paw. So seal flippers are the forelimbs, bat paw are the hind limbs. So they are neither homologous nor analogous. Okay. Then insect wings and birds are not homologous, they are analogous. Thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of pea are homologous. They are homologous because the origin is same, that is the stem modification, but the function is different. Then question number 38. Connecting link between Annelida and mollusca is. So here the answer is Neopilina. So here Neopilina, if you say, this has segmented body. So it is actually a mollusk, but still it had the segmented body. But segmented body, it is a property of Annelida, right? Also it has this visceral mass. So visceral mass we can find in mollusk and not in Annelida. Also it has the shell muscles, which is again the feature of mollusk. So here what we can observe is it has the features of both Annelida and mollusca, right? So because of this reason, we consider Neopilina as the connecting link between Annelida and mollusca. Then 39. So which of the set represents vestigial organ? So here the first option if we see, so the patella is a knee bone which is not vestigial. Vestigial organ means what? So the organs are present but they are not functional. So that is the vestigial organ. Then in the option B if we see, atlas vertebrate is functional. Okay. And then 39 if we see, ear muscles, cochlea, coccyx here. Cochlea is functional. Without cochlea, how the hearing happens? Cochlea is important for hearing. Right? So here D, we see vermiform appendix, ear muscle, coccyx. So they all are vestigial organs. Right? The answer is D. Then tendrils in plants are examples of. So, so if we take all the tendrils, so they are the origin is same, right? So this question has to be like tendrils in plants, and the question is actually incomplete. So if we have to say convergent, divergent, coevolution, or radiation, we should get some other comparison. So the example what we have is tendrils in cucumber, that is pea plant, and the thorns. Right. So when like two examples are given only, then we can answer. So this question is incomplete. So only when there is a comparison, then we can answer the question. Then 41, which of the following is not a correct pair? Right. So we know Hugo de Vries, he had suggested mutation theory. Then paleontology, it is also called as study of fossils. Charles Darwin has written the book, and that book name is Origin of Species, right? And the Mesozoic era, it is not the age of mammals, it is the age of reptiles. So where the dinosaurs were dominant during those era. So answer is option A. See, where sometimes whenever you don't know, so now for say some of you may be wondering what is this Mesozoic era, but you know all the three other concepts. So in that case, what you should do, check for the other options. So if they are correct, then you go for the filtering method. So choose which are the not correct answers. Then you will get the correct answer. Then study of fossil, paleontology, direct question. Then a baby has been born with a small tail. So here the small tail is an ancestral character. So here the progeny is having the ancestral character. So this phenomena we call it as atavism. Again the direct question. Then 44. Which of the following events is an example of evolution? So here the first one if we see different finch species found of found in different finch species found in Galapagos Island. Right? So again, this is the example of adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation means also there is evolution, right? Then remarkable rise in antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. Even this is the example why nature is selecting the resistant bacteria. That means the bacteria which can survive better in the changes, right? In a new environment, whichever the bacteria is able to survive, survival of the fittest. So those organisms will be selected by nature, right? And changes in guppy population after the introduction of predators. Again, so here when the guppy are the fishes. So when the predators are introduced, their population will change. Why? So that is a change. It is introduced there, and the guppy population they will not be able to survive because of predators, right? So here who is the nature is selecting the predators. So there is evolution. So all the given examples are the all the given options are the examples for evolution. So it is answer D. Then 45. Natural indicator of industrial pollution is. So it is the lichen. Lichen is the uh, natural indicator of pollution. If there is any kind of pollution, lichens will not grow. In the absence of pollution, only the lichens will grow on tree barks, rocks. Flippers of seal. So here again, seal is a bird, right? So here, whatever the forelimb is there. So the flippers, it is a modification of forelimbs, right? Instead of wings, it is modified into flippers. Then 47. What do homologous organs indicate? So here it is a direct question. So direct line from our NCERT book. So what do they indicate? It is a common ancestry they indicate because the origin is same. When the origin is same, the structures will be same. Only the function will be different. So when origin is same, that means the ancestor will be same. So the answer is common ancestry. Then 48. Which of the following is an example of fossils? Right. So here the first one, pollen grain buried in the bottom of peat bogs. So even so, when it is buried, see again pollen grain they are indestructible, so they will remain as a fossil. So this is example of fossil. The petrified cast of clams burrow. So petrified cast in the sense, so it is like uh, surrounded, it is like covered, okay. So it is made into cast, That is also an example. The impression. So impression, how it will create? So that will be because of the sediment. So when the sediment go on happening on the rock, so that means that impression will be staying forever, right? So here all the above answers are the examples of fossils. Then 49. Fossils are the remains of, again, so it is the hard part of life form. Only the hard parts of the living organism can be remained. So the light parts, proteins, okay, fats, all this will be degraded. Only the hard parts like bones. Okay, C can't be answered because protein is involved here. Then 50. Octopus eye and mammals eye appear quite similar. So we know here the function is same, but the origin is different. So octopus eye is origin from skin and the mammal eye is origin from embryonic brain. So here the answer is analogous organs. Direct question. Then 51. Primary source of allelic variation. So when there is, if we have to say there is some allelic variation, there will be the evolutionary changes for longer period of time. So only then there will be allelic variation. So answer is option A. 52. Darwin proposed that new species evolve from ancestral forms by. So how this new species is appearing from the ancestral species. Okay. So gradual accumulation of adaptations. Yes, actually there is gradual evolution is happening. So we know the evolution is gradual and it occurs by minor heritable variations according to Darwin, right? Then option B, it says inheritance of acquired adaptation. So this was said by Lamarck and not by Darwin. Struggle for limited resources. When there is struggle, there is no evolution. Only the population will be controlled. Accumulation of mutations. So this was said by Hugo de Vries and not Darwin. Right? So the answer is option A. Then 53. Lamarckism cannot explain. So we know the two postulates of Lamarck. So one is use and disuse of organs, right? And then the second postulate Lamarck had given is inheritance of acquired character. So these are the two postulates of Lamarck. Right? So here, webbed toes in aquatic bat, this is not the acquired character. Acquired character means what? In a one's lifetime, the new character is obtained. That is acquired character. Weak muscles in a son of wrestler. So if we take a wrestler, his muscles will be so strong because he'll be wrestling, right? But his son need not have these strong muscles like him, but he will have the weak muscles. So what is happening? So according to this inheritance of acquired character, even his son should be getting the strong muscles, but he is not getting. His son is having weak muscles, right? So this is against the second postulate, inheritance of acquired character. Then long, narrow and limbless body of snakes. So this actually supporting the use and disuse theory. Heterophily means it is nothing to do with this Lamarckism. So some option is given, that's it. So here only this option which is not explained by Lamarck. So according to Lamarck, the acquired character has to be inherited, but here it is not inheriting. The acquired character is strong muscles. Right? So this is not explained by Lamarckism. Then 54. Mutation is more common when it is present in. So we know, so if the dominant character has to be expressed, it can be either in dominant condition, dominant homozygous condition, or in the heterozygous condition, right? So what happens here in this case? So even if there is one mutation, there will be no harm because there is one more dominant allele which will be masking that mutation, right? So when even here, so even in this heterozygous condition, when there is mutation in small a, that is the recessive allele, there is no use because the dominant allele is there which will be masking that mutation. When there is mutation this in this condition, okay, when there is mutation in one of the allele, so when the recessive condition can be appeared when both are homozygous recessive alleles are together, only then the recessive character can be exhibited. But here if there is any mutation in the homozygous condition, only one mutation, only one allele is mutated, that is enough, because generally homozygous condition, they it will be exhibiting only the homozygous condition. So when there is mutation in one of the allele, the homozygosity is lost, right? So the recessive condition cannot be expressed, right? So mutation is more common when expressed in recessive condition. In dominant condition, even though the mutation had occurred, it is not visible because of the dominant allele. Then 55, Darwin's finches represent. So again the adaptive variation, it is geographical isolation, because of the geographical isolation, and in order to adapt to the different habitat, they had got different modified beaks. Then Darwin finches refers to, so they are the type of birds which are present in the Galapagos Island. And so popularly we call it as Darwin's finches because Darwin had studied on those finches. Then 57, the force responsible for fixing in population of neutral characters. So here neutral character means there will not be any changes in the characters. So if that neutral character has to be fixed, okay, so then what happens? There will be some change in gene frequency. So when there is gene frequency change, we call that as genetic drift. Then 58, which of the following phenomenon supports Darwin's concept of natural selection in organic evolution? Okay, so here, so the nature has to act and the nature has to select some of the variation. So that kind of option we have to select. Development of transgenic animals. So this is not the nature is selecting, it's the hybridization experiment. Then production of dolly by cloning, even this is hybridization. The nature has nothing to do with hybridization. Prevalence of pesticide resistant insects. Yes, so here in the group of insects, there will be some insects who will be resistant to pesticides. And when we spray pesticide, the insects who has having those variation of resistance, they will increase their population. So the answer is option C. Then 59, some person can move their pinnae. So again, moving pinnae, this is in the ancestral character. So ancestor has this character. But humans, if we take, the pinnae is vestigial. They won't be functional. But still, if they can move, that is the appearance of ancestral character. That phenomena is atavism. Then question number 60. The given diagram illustrates the change that occurred in the frequency of phenotypes in an insect population over 10 generations. A probable explanation. So if you see here in this picture, so here first of all, so this completely dark one is small a small a. So here the only the circle is either capital A or capital A small a. So here if we see in the first picture, so there is more of capital A and capital A small a, right? So many of them are of that population. So here only least population we have left. Right? If we see after 10 years, what had happened? This small a generation had increased. See how many are there? So almost all the population are of small a, right? And capital A and capital A small a population has gradually reduced. So what does that mean? So here what had happened? The adaptive value of gene A has increased only when this gene A has increased, so that small a gene species will be able to survive and they will be able to increase their population. Here the nature is selecting this gene small a. So it is answer B. So that's all from the evolution chapter. Okay, so go through the video and yeah, please note the corrections. Thank you.